This video is not intended to encourage or glorify any kind of drug use. The sole purpose of these videos is to educate you on the dangers of what these substances can do to you. Please do not do any of the acts mentioned in this video. I repeat, do not do any of the acts mentioned in this video.
Welcome to the world of Tales from the Trip.
To start, I, 26 female, have been formally diagnosed with MDD, Major Depressive Disorder, GAD, Generalized Anxiety Disorder, and, as of writing this, been screened but not evaluated for a dual diagnosis in ADHD and Asperger's, awaiting diagnostic evaluation date. Despite being formally diagnosed with clinical depression at 16, now generally recognized as MDD, I had not been on any medications until being prescribed duloxetine, Cymbalta, in 2019. I hated it from the beginning, but decided to stick it out since I had no experience to compare it to. After gaining an alarming 37 pounds despite a relatively active lifestyle and average eating habits, and despairing over notable sexual dysfunction, I still decided to stick to it because my doctor recommended it, and I trusted him. I found myself losing all interest in things that I previously enjoyed, constantly felt weak and thirsty, and sick to my stomach so often that my family and I were forced to adopt a hermit-like lifestyle because I couldn't do anything without being ill. I got fed up one day with not being able to play with my son, write, draw, or even binge a TV show, and simply stopped taking it. This is not an action I recommend, and had I been in my right mind, would not have made for myself. You should only cease taking a medication slowly and under the supervision of a qualified medical professional. I first started Trintellix July 2021. It started with samples that my doctor gave me following my cold turkey cessation of duloxetine. I had never heard of it, and my doctor told me it was relatively new and had shown quite a bit of success in treating a range of disorders, including the ones I had been diagnosed with. Considering I had a genetic predisposition toward being a poor metabolizer, CYP2D6, but had not yet had genetic testing done on myself, we opted for playing it safe and maintaining a 5 mg dosage until we felt I would benefit more from a higher dosage. The first week sucked, the second week sucked, the third week, nothing. I woke up one morning during the third week, stretched like the woman in Folgers commercials, and everything felt so lovely. This is it, I thought. Every day that week and the week following, I woke up the same way and began thanking the heavens for this wonderful medication that made me feel alive like I never had before. That was the extent of it though. When I stopped waking up and loving the way it felt like I was being hugged by life, I asked my doctor if I could up my dose. It didn't help. I spent the next few weeks chasing that short-lived euphoric feeling, spiraling into feelings of self-loathing and failure, and not even noticing that it had been at least that long since I wanted to do anything at all. I vividly remember thinking that something must have gone wrong with all the naysayers and complainers on the internet, because I'd felt fine. My husband began to notice problems long before I did. I would simply stare at something, unable to figure out why I was staring at it, what I was looking for, if I was looking for something, and why I couldn't find it. When speaking, a word may have come out mispronounced, slurred, or jumbled in a weird way, and if I attempted to correct it, I would say it in the same way. My short-term memory and focus declined rapidly, to the point of being unable to continue a sentence on the same topic it started on, and not knowing if I was still talking about the same thing I'd been talking about in the beginning. He even compared my apathy and lack of personality to when I was on Cymbalta, even if I wasn't constantly ill. December 2021. I shared my concerns with my doctor, who responded that I had gained weight and was being a bit hysterical. He said it was probably a sodium deficiency, since that was a possible side effect of the Trintellix, and advised that I rectify it by improving my diet and mobility. January 12, 2022. My research began in earnest. Sudden confusion, acute short-term memory loss, brain fog, loss of focus, and loss of motivation and interest had been reported problems for years, but were claims that had still not been addressed. Since I had already gone back down to 5 milligrams in the beginning of the new year, I decided to stop taking it, again without appropriate supervision. I started taking a diuretic and other measures to normalize blood sodium levels, put my pill bottle out of sight to avoid temptation, and I waited. It is now January 22nd, 2022. Yesterday, the 21st, I told my doctor I'd stopped taking it and that I was noticing a huge difference, and so was everyone else. My attitude was far less apathetic. I was assertive and enthusiastic again, and even though I seemed tired, I was coming off as colorful and bubbly. My doctor got upset that I had once again stopped taking a medication without his go-ahead and warned me about the withdrawals. He told me I would need to find a new doctor if I wanted to try another antidepressant, which is fine with me. Until I had stopped taking it, I hadn't noticed how lifeless I had become. As of writing this, I haven't had a single spurt of loss of concentration or confusion in the last 3 days. My energy levels have already risen significantly. I even had a vivid dream that spurred my lovely creative streak. I also initiated a conversation with my friend group without feeling like it was too emotionally and mentally taxing. I began seeing my new doctor in February, who is aware of my habit of stopping medications when I feel their impact is too negative, and has encouraged me to listen to my body and given advice to help offset the withdrawal symptoms. I am excited to meet her, and I am excited for a life without Trintellix. I do understand that this isn't everyone's experience, but it was certainly mine. I may update as I come off of it completely, but my main goal was to put something out on the internet for people who may be looking for answers to similar issues. In general, I do not recommend stopping a prescription on your own, against medical advice, or without the supervision of a medical professional. When I made the decision to do so myself, I did so knowing that the consequences could be severe. Please also be sure that you trust your doctor. If you don't, please seek a second opinion before you stop taking a medication, adjust your dosage, or begin taking any new medications. Hello, I don't know where to start, but I have been taking Trintellix for about 8 years. It was due to panic attacks and occasional depression. Okay, so I started taking this medicine. At the time, my ex-girlfriend and I lived in a rented apartment. We had a beautiful, exceptional relationship. Everything worked well. I had a successful business and job. I enjoyed and liked both. The only thing that wasn't good was the occasional mental problems, so I got Trintellix and it seemed to work great. After about a half a year of taking the drug, I decided to take out a mortgage and buy an apartment. It never occurred to me before. I was satisfied that I had no obligations to the banks, so we bought an apartment and moved. At that time, I was taking 5 milligrams of the drug. I continued to do business and work, and everything seemed to be going in the right direction, but it had one flaw. All I did was inertia, no more innovation. No shift in business. I wasn't even able to buy good equipment for the apartment and furnish it like normal people have. Everything was so unfinished, but I didn't mind. Maybe I had brain fog from today's perspective. After about 3 years, however, I began to fall into strange depressions that alternated with manias. Trintellix seemed to stop working, so the doctor increased my dose to 10 milligrams, and that was the turning point. After a few weeks of taking the 10 milligrams, everything seemed to be great. I literally felt a connection with divine energy. I began to discover that I needed nothing more to live than to simply be. I started listening to esoteric lectures. I listened to ambient and relaxing music. I started buying synthesizers and creating my own ambience. I bought ethnic instruments. I bought singing bowls, a Native American flute. I was getting into states of higher consciousness. I didn't need a business or a job anymore. I didn't even need a girlfriend anymore. Beautiful. What do you say? And now I'm going to make it much shorter. After several years of this madness, I woke up in a small room in my relative's shack. I don't have the woman I was with for 18 years. I don't have an apartment. I don't have a business. And I don't have a job. It's been about a year since I lost everything, and it's been about a half a year since I stopped taking Trintellix for good. It's only now that I'm slowly realizing what happened, but I'm still not who I was before I started using this drug. I am very confused now, and everything is coming to me gradually. My ex-girlfriend and I sometimes text each other. She is expecting a child with a new boyfriend. I wish her the best. We parted on good terms. Now I'm in a situation where, at 41 years old, I will have to find myself again. It's been 9 weeks now, and every week I've pushed through, thinking that since it's slow acting, the next week will be better. But every week, it just kept getting worse and worse. I started with 5 milligrams for the first week, and then 10 for 2, then 15 from then until now. First week was a nice placebo where I had good energy and mood, but that stopped quick and became the worst depression I have had to date. Completely suicidal, horrible irritability, and brain fog like I've never had before. I couldn't think straight, I couldn't form words, I couldn't focus on anything. I would have terrible memory issues with short, long-term, and working. I would forget something in 1 minute, and I couldn't learn anything. The info just wouldn't encode. I also kept losing gains from the gym and getting out of breath. Every workout I would lift lighter and lighter weights despite eating and training the same. I would always be stuck in this weird dreamlike state where nothing felt real. It may have been dissociation. Overall, I'm tired of living this way, and I'm going to stop this shit cold turkey, unless I have convincing evidence that I should continue for some reason. Mushrooms are the only thing that have ever made me feel like a fucking human. I forgot my dose one night, and the next day I already felt better. I don't believe I'll have any withdrawal. Might look into Wellbutrin after, as I've heard some promising things about it. Alright, we're going to change it up for this last story. We're going to read a success story for it, since it is a medication that treats people very well. I think I might do this for future videos, especially with antidepressant or antipsychotic medications, because I have had no problems with my Lexapro and Abilify that I've been on, but I've made horror stories about them. I just want everyone to know that there are dangers with any drug that you may take, and not every drug will mix well with your brain. That's why I make these videos, not because I want to scare you, but because I want you to be careful and be on the lookout for it. So let's read this success story and end on a happy note. I have tried numerous SSRIs and other meds in the past and never found any relief for OCD/anxiety and depression. Lexapro made me sick to my stomach. Hydroxyzine made me sleep 24/7. Zoloft I thought was fine, but once I weaned off of it, I realized that was making me extremely tired and uninterested in everything, all the while completely killing my sex drive. I took the GeneSight test. If you don't know what that is, it's a cheek swab that checks your DNA and predicts what medications will likely be compatible and incompatible with your genes. I am so thankful that I did this test. It gives you a 12-page document of all different kinds of mental health related drugs and splits them into 3 categories: green, yellow, and red. Green, highly compatible with your DNA. Yellow is okay, you just may have to have certain dosages that are less ordinary or maybe mix it with another drug. And red equals high gene drug interaction, so avoid. Literally every SSRI that I had tried in the past showed up on my red results, which made total sense. I have wasted so much time and money on trying multiple medications over the years, and this test finally helped me figure it out. One of the medications that showed up in my green category was Trintellix. My doctor mainly recommended it to me because there are theories that this drug works very well in patients who respond poorly to SSRIs. It has less intense side effects and it does not hurt your libido. I was really excited to try until I looked up the cost, around $400 a month, because it is relatively new and there is no generic version yet. I voiced my concerns with her and she told me about a savings card program that is available for Trintellix. I was skeptical but brought it to my pharmacy, and it made the cost of my 30-day supply $10. After realizing I could afford it, I started on 5 milligrams. Side note, I want to address all the negative stories I see on here about Trintellix. I was also very scared to try it because it felt like there was very little positive feedback from anyone who did try it and posted about it on Reddit. But I am glad I did not listen to that fear because I would have never found the life and the feeling I have now. Everyone's body is different. Some meds will work for you and others won't. It's like metabolisms. Some people can eat like shit and stay skinny, while others gain 5 pounds just by looking at a pizza. I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. Just because it did or didn't work for someone else doesn't mean you will have the same reaction, so don't stop trying. I have been on 5 milligrams of Trintellix for 2 weeks now, and holy crap, I could see what I've been missing out on in life. On a normal day, I would question every single thing that happened, overanalyze, doubt, worry, prepare for the worst case scenario, ruminate on past mistakes, etc. Just constant anxiety/OCD thoughts, which would actually lead me to feeling very depressed just because of how exhausted my mind was from constantly worrying. Now I still have those thoughts, but it's almost like my mind is like, cool, I don't care about that thought anymore. I don't emotionally eat constantly or go take a nap to avoid thinking nonstop anymore. Somehow, I have just stopped reacting to the shit that would pop into my head. Before, I would think I was a bad person for thinking something, and I would be pulled down by that emotion all day long. Now, it honestly doesn't bother me. In addition, Trintellix has given me my libido back. My boyfriend and I are very happy about that, after me being not so interested since being on Zoloft for a long time. And lastly, I have the energy and the desire to do better. I now want to work out. What? And I want to eat better. Again, what? This is crazy talk. Who is this girl? The past few months or even years, I haven't wanted to do anything but eat my sorrows and lay in bed. I have never been bedridden. I would go and do things, attend parties, go to mall with friends, go to dinner with family, etc. But I would secretly be anxious the entire time, and nothing was ever fun. I just felt anxious instead of enjoying quality time with the people I love. Trintellix has absolutely changed my life, also therapy too, but major changes after Trintellix, and again, I've only been on 5 milligrams for 2 weeks. My advice to anyone struggling is don't give up. I have been there. I thought I must be different. Nothing will work for me. I am just unfortunate and will have these feelings forever. No, that is so not true. You have to find what's right for you. And let me repeat this, I still have problems. I still have negative or OCD or worrisome thoughts. But the difference is that now I don't react to them, or I'm not controlled by them so much anymore. And I have that extra energy to do something healthy or productive, which is life-changing. If you can afford it, it's really worth getting the gene site test so you can just narrow down what really works with your body and what doesn't. My test was around $330, I think. Seriously worth it with how I'm feeling now though. I really hope this helps someone out there. Find a doctor you mesh with, find a cool therapist. I've been to some weird ones, but again, you just gotta find the right one. Find some supportive friends or family members. Maybe even find a cool preacher you can listen to occasionally. Personally, I love Jeremy Foster from Hope City Church, mainly because he is hilarious, one of my favorite qualities in people. And because he admits that he is an imperfect human being as well, just like everyone else on this planet. Don't give in to the negative thoughts, but if you are, I promise you, you won't have to live like this forever. God is good, and He will help you find your way.